Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now celebrating 17 years of broadcasting success, here's your host, Cyrus-Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus-Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. We're glad that you all could be with us. Also, those tuning in through online affiliates around the world, including our friends at iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Amazon Music Podcasts. We're glad you all could be with us as well. Recording artist Derek Jones is joining us today to talk to us not only about his musical journey, but what it's been like for him to do what he loves when it comes to music his way, and, of course, to be able to see the response. Derek is gearing up for the release of a new EP. It's called Last of a Dying Breed. We'll talk to him about that. Also about the song that's getting a lot of attention, Everybody's Somebody, and of course that you guys know how to stay connected with Derek throughout this year. Derek, hello to you and welcome to the program.
Cyrus, I'm glad to be on your program, man. I appreciate you having me. I hope you're doing well.
I am, and I really appreciate the time and really enjoying the music, Derek, and I know our audience will as well. We're going to let them know, of course, how they can take advantage of that. I want to talk about, though, how you're beginning this year. I mean, you kind of ended 2020, with, of course, giving us a teaser to Last of a Dying Breed with Everybody's Somebody. What has it been like for you, Derek, to see the way that people are enjoying not just the music, but also the story behind the music?
Right. So you just said it right there. That's the most important part to me. Like whenever I'm recording or writing a song, I want it to be a story. I always say, I'm on stage. I'm not singing a song. I'm telling a story, and I want people to believe it. And when I see the reaction that I get, like with Everybody's Somebody, that tells me that I must be doing something right because people are listening to it, people are downloading it, people are streaming it. And it's very important to me to just be honest with myself as an artist, and it's also very important that I sing the truth. I'll never sing and write about stuff that I don't know about. And I think that's why I have kind of the following that I have is people know who I am, they know what I stand for, and I stay connected with them, and I try and be personable.
And that, what you just said, is such a great quality, I would say, Derek. However, we know it is not always the norm in the world that we live in today. So I guess an obvious question would be, where did you get the courage to do that? Because you are in the music business, and we know that in that business there are a lot of different, layers as well as levers that can be taking place. How did you get to a place in your life, Derek, where you said, you know what, if you're going to do this, you have to do it authentically?
Right. I would say, honestly, I was raised to always stand up for the things that I believe in. I was raised to have a backbone and defend, anything that might go against me or the things that I think are wrong. I will stand up and I will say something. And I also think a lot of that came from the military as well. The military taught me to stand tall and stand proud and walk with your chin up. And I think that had a huge part of who I am today, and that bleeds over into my music as well. I just try to be the man that God wants me to be.
Right. Well, look, I think you can't ask for more than that, and I think that's a great hope for all of us to realize that we were created for something and to walk in that. You mentioned, of course, being in service, and then, of course, being in the industry. Did you always know that music was going to be a part of your life in some aspect, Derek, or when did that love for music kind of show up for you?
I did. I've always had a love for music. When you're a kid and everybody says, what do you want to be when you grow up? I always had two dreams. I wanted to be a professional football player, which when I was a kid, I was 4'1" and 64 pounds. That was not going to happen. I was a little turd when I was a kid. My other answer to the question was always, or I want to be a rock star, a quote-unquote rock star. I grew up playing the drums. So I've always had this dream of being in the music business. Now, I will say I did not see myself landing in the country music genre by any means. In fact, when I was in high school, I had a bumper sticker on my car that said, discourage inbreeding, ban country music. I hated country music when I was in high school. Could not stand it. I listened to a lot of Allman Brothers. I listened to a lot of Tool, Pantera, a lot of stuff that came out of Seattle, the grunge, Stone Temple Pilots, Pearl Jam, stuff like that.
Right.
But then as I got older, and I started to listen to the words of the song and started to see the song, that's when I kind of fell in love with country music. And I thought, man, this is such a great genre of music. And now I find myself, elbow deep in it.
Yeah. And, it's interesting you said, I'm glad you brought up the genre aspect, because this has been a thing that I think is really interesting. I think that people take out the time to listen to a song. Let's just take Everybody's Somebody. That is a universal message to me. Mm-hmm. Do you find genres confining for you, Derek, or do you feel as though, even though you might be put in a certain genre, you do create music that anyone can really be able to get something out of?
Right. Honestly, I've never really wanted to be put in a certain genre. I never asked to be put in the country music. I don't know how that is. I don't know if it's, well, this song's got a banjo, so it's country, or this song's got a dobro, so it's country.
Right.
To be honest with you, I would prefer to not be in a box of genre. I don't want to be known as just country. What I want to be known for is putting out good music, and if people relate to it, that's great. I don't care what genre it is. If it's a good song, I like it.
Right. Well, I think that's what comes through with Last of a Dying Breed, and that's why I thought is an interesting title for a lot of reasons. But one being, again, going back to that song Everybody's Somebody, when I was listening to the actual words of the song, I think, you know what, I think there's a lot of people that can relate to the idea of growing up, having certain beliefs. I know my family instilled, a great deal when it came to my own belief system, and the importance of standing up for something. I think that's something everyone can kind of take away from it. Mm-hmm. And that kind of brings us to another layer of this then, Derek. I mean, you're able to literally reach the world these days. I mean, our audience now can pre-save Last of a Dying Breed through social media. How has that been for you to kind of be able to not only to have your in-person, connections with your audience, but to literally reach the world online?
It's incredible. 15 years ago, never in a million years that I think somebody in Australia or England would be listening, to my music. And I get that all the time. I get to get on my Spotify and see, where are my streams coming from. And it is legit across the world. And that's incredible. And that just shows, that it just proves to me that music is a universal language. Music is something that we all as humans connect to. And that's such an incredible thing to be able to create that I can write a song and create this piece of music, and somebody in, Amsterdam can listen to it and think, oh, that's a really good song. I like this. It's incredible.
It really is, and it really shows how the world has really become smaller in that respect. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, either on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. We're excited to welcome Derek Jones to our program today. We're talking to Derek not only about his own love of music, but what it's been like for him to share that love with all of you. His new project is called Last of a Dying Breed. It's officially being released on March the 12th. You guys can go ahead, though, and get Everybody's Somebody, the song that we're talking about here. So talk to us about the name of the project here, Derek, Last of a Dying Breed. How did it kind of come about, and how do you feel as though that kind of encapsulates what this EP is about for you?
Right. So, Last of a Dying Breed, the song came about, you always hear the chivalry is dead. I don't believe that whatsoever. I think chivalry it might be dying, but it still exists. I practice it every day. I hold the door for my girl no matter what, whether we're getting in a car, whether we're going in the house, whether we're going into a restaurant or store. I will always hold the door for her, and I always walk street side of her as well, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So one day we were down and we were shopping. I held the door for her to get in the car, shut the door, came around, got on my side, and two older women knocked on my window. And I rolled the window down, and they kind of looked at Megan and they said, well, we just saw him hold the door for you, and we think that's such a good thing, and we don't really see that anymore these days. And Megan said, he does it all the time. He's such a gentleman. He's a class act, So I said, thank you for noticing, and, rolled up my window. We got going down the road, and Megan and I was talking about it, and she said, I kind of feel like that you're the last of a dying breed. And the second that she said that, I thought, oh, my God, that's a song. I grabbed my phone, wrote it down in my notes, got home that day, and wrote the title track to the EP, Last of a Dying Breed. And there's the songs throughout the whole EP. There's 5 tracks on it. It's all about personal experiences, things that I've lived through, things that I've done, things that my family has done. So, and I do feel like that, I do feel like myself and many others, we are the last of a dying breed.
Yeah. Do you think in the world that we're in today, Derek, do you think it takes more courage than it used to be yourself in the entertainment industry?
Yeah, I do, absolutely. The main reason is because you're no matter what, you're always in the spotlight, whether it's in person or whether it's in social media, you're constantly being watched. So you constantly have to say or be careful what you say and think about what you say. And I'm also finding, too, that people are saying things that they don't necessarily agree with just to please the masses. I will never be that way. What I say is what I mean, and what I mean is exactly what I say. I try and be respectful as I can to human beings. If you're a good person, I'm going to treat you like a good person. And I think that's super important, is just to remain true to yourself and not to sell out just to please somebody else.
Right. I agree. I totally agree with that. And I think, too, people are looking for individuals like what you're talking about here, Derek, because they are looking for that authenticity. They're looking for the realness and not something that is contrived. And I think that is, unfortunately, the danger that we find ourselves in, that people feel as though they have to water themselves down just not to be, talked about or, or to get another like. And it's great. When I first heard about the project, what I thought about was I think all of us should want to be exactly that, the last of a dying breed, and embrace that. I think that is the cool thing. So we have to talk about the elephant in the room here, though, Derek. You are releasing new music as we are still, in the middle of a very challenging time in this country. Travel is still something that's limited. Things are opening up. I know in my home state things are easing up here. How have you been able to navigate that as a performer to be able to reach your audience?
Yeah, so I was fortunate enough last year, I would say 75% of my shows went away due to the pandemic. But I was fortunate. I still got to play a handful of those shows, so I still was able to connect with my fans and still able to do that. But then we had to get creative and figure out, okay, how am I going to keep doing what I love to do even though I can't play? So we started to do a lot of live streams. We got invited to do some live streams in empty theaters, which was very eerie, but amazing at the same time to sit on stage of an empty theater, be me and a sound guy in there. It was incredible. And then, like financially on the money aspect of it, I lost 99% of my income, and I've got 4 kids, and it was like, holy crap, what am I going to do? Like I got to provide for my family. So then we started getting creative as far as, doing live streams for different companies. We did one with Texas Roadhouse. We did some for theaters. We did some for other small businesses. And that was another creative way to keep the money coming. But definitely trying times, not only music-wise, my career, but, also mentally as well. I found myself kind of slipping into a little bit of a depression, because when you work 15 years to get to where you're at, which is what I've done in the last 6 years of my life. Music has been my full-time job. I haven't had to do anything else. Yeah. So all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, it goes away. Yeah. Mentally, it started to get to me after a few months, and I thought, man, I didn't have that sense of self-worth, because I'm a provider. I like to provide for my family.
Sure.
So I started to look like, what am I going to do? Like, I've got to get in a place where mentally I'm okay. I've always driven a truck. I've had my Class A CDLs for the last, 20 years, it seems like. So I went back to driving a dump truck a few days a week just to get out and to get that self-worth back, that sense of self-worth. You know what I mean?
I get it. Yeah. And I think that in itself, I'm so glad you shared that. Thank you for that, because I think, I have said to our audience out there that is so important, that, everyone's situation, to be able to realize what is necessary for you. And as you mentioned,
right.
not just from a physical standpoint or even a monetary standpoint, just for a psychological standpoint. What is it that works for you? I think that is so important in getting through any challenge, for sure. So what are you looking forward to this year, Derek? I know you have, as we've been talking about here, the new EP, Less of a Dying Breed, coming out in just a few days from the time our audience is hearing this for the radio side. What else are you looking forward to this year?
Besides the EP being released, honestly, man, I just got off the phone with my manager, Patrick, and as of right now, we've got 16 confirmed shows that are on the schedule.
Wow.
That is way more than I thought, because I'm seeing a lot of shows getting rescheduled with other artists and going away, and I thought, man, I hope this is not a sign of what's to come. But Like I said, just got off the phone with my manager, Patrick. He confirmed 16 shows. There's still more on the books. Man, I just cannot wait to get the wheels rolling and get on the road and play in front of people again. I miss that terribly.
Yeah. Well, Derek, let me say what I've said to other recording artists and even authors who've been on this program. Not only I know that you all look forward to it, we look forward to it, because it does remind us of not only a sense of normalcy, but a sense of belonging, because we feel a connection when we're at events. And so I totally get that. And again, I'm happy for you, but also happy for us, because that means that we have things to look forward to, as well. I think that is the cool thing here.
Right.
Again, everyone, Derek Jones has been our guest. Great conversation with you, Derek. Again, the EP is called Last of a Dying Breed. Make sure you guys go ahead and pre-order it now. Of course, I pre-ordered mine through our partners at Amazon.com, but you guys can get it on your favorite online retailer. The single, Everybody Somebody, though, is already out on Amazon and the other online retailers. You guys can go ahead and get that. Derek, how can they stay connected with you, man?
Oh, easy. Just look. All my social medias are Derek Jones Live. You can search Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, Derek Jones Live, and it's DEREK Jones Live. And then also you can look at my website to see what my tour schedule is going to be, and that's DerekJonesLive.com. That's the easiest way to do it.
All right, he's made it easy for you guys. Derek, congratulations to you again. Thank you so much for this time. Really appreciate it, and looking forward to having you back on the program again, man.
Awesome, Cyrus. I appreciate you having me. Thank you, man. I hope you have a good one.
You as well. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus-Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.